As a single woman in her 30s, writing a blog post such as this one comes with trepidation about making my thoughts public on the internet. I would like to start by pointing out that I have no shame about being single at my age because I'm quite proud of my accomplishments and knowing that my success is mine and not attributed to any men. I didn't always think this way. In my 20s, I was brainwashed, like most of society, to believe that happiness primarily stemmed from a long-term relationship. While I believe happiness definitely stems from a stable relationship, I have since learned that it's only one facet of many in the happiness diamond. My 20s were comprised of 3 very long relationships that I don't regret only because they have brought me to here and now. But was I happy? No. Where is here? I'll tell you. After my failed relationships in my 20s, where every boyfriend was more concerned with their own success in life while impeding mine, I took a dating hiatus to focus on myself. I was raised to be independent, and my parents encouraged my intelligence, so I always looked at it as a form of insult to my parents to not use the gifts and opportunities they provided me. I chose the path of education and earned my master's in engineering. I tried the corporate America world, but I was too young to appreciate it, and it ate at my soul. I broke free to start my own cake business, which turned out to be a very successful venture. And at the height of my success, winning Food Network's Cake Wars, I decided running my own business was too much of a stressful venture and returned to engineering. Writing that sentence was easier than the actual return. I was out from the engineering industry for 4 years, and I struggled to get interviews. Eventually, I landed my current position as project manager after I realized I had to rebrand myself. I got lucky that in the interim, my cake business was sustaining me financially. So here is being happy with my career and never feeling work as work. I am also an avid world traveler, as you can see on my Instagram at Shantalisms, and have a serious case of wanderlust. I wouldn't have done any of this had I married any of my boyfriends in my 20s. If you are feeling lonely, it is because you haven't discovered your full potential. Tap into your inner self and ask yourself, what do I love? What makes me happy? Why do I feel lonely? When you're comfortable being alone, then you have mastered happiness, since happiness is a state of mind and can be found from within, not without. In your 30s, you are wiser, calmer, more established, more patient, and therefore you have higher standards. I make these standards known prior to a first date, especially if I meet the guy via an online platform. There is no shame in admitting you are online dating. If you're like me, all of your friends are married and in their second round of kids, and you have been friends with them for decades, so you have a better chance seeing a unicorn than meeting someone new via those channels. The nice part of online dating is that everyone is in the same boat. There is someone for everyone, whether you want a fling, a short relationship, or a long relationship. For the record, I know about 4 married couples that met online, so there is hope. Anyway, my friends and family tease me incessantly about my approach to dating. I can count on one hand how many men received second dates from me in the last 3 years. Remember, I am happy. I am not looking for happiness in a man, nor am I desperate and lonely. I am patient. There is something specific I am looking for, so I vet my potential candidates quite thoroughly because I didn't do that in my 20s and I wasted 7 years of my life in doomed relationships. Before going on a first date, I ask the guy to give me his full name and I do a very thorough internet search. As I state in my online profiles, I am looking for my last first date and not because you are going to murder me. People tell me I approach relationships as a business venture, and to a certain degree I do. I am a very giving person, and I absolutely love being in a great relationship, which is why I value my time and need to know that it's going to be appreciated. I don't sit there and give them 100 questions to answer like an interview. But here is the list of questions I keep in mind and ask at different times in a relationship. If the first date went well, I typically continue conversations via text message or phone calls to get more answers before going on a second date. I know my deal breakers, so if they have any of them, better to know sooner than later. The more serious questions are saved to be asked during a relationship, most likely during the 6-month term, so I get a sense of where things are going. Okay, are you ready for the list of questions? Let's go through 15. Number 1, what do you do for work? Do you love your job? Are you planning any career changes that may affect the stability of a relationship? Number 2, how many languages can you speak? Number 3, how long was your longest relationship? Number 4, have you been married? Do you have kids? Do you want kids? Number 5, do you travel? What are your favorite and least favorite countries? How often do you travel? And would you mind if I travel alone if your schedule doesn't allow for travel? Number 6, do you cook? What's your favorite cuisine? Number 7, are you close to your parents? Do you have siblings? How often do you see them? Number 8, what is your longest friendship? This question speaks volumes of a person's commitment. Number 9, do you have hobbies? Which makes you happiest? Number 10, if things work out between us, what is your ideal timeline moving forward in terms of developing the relationship further? Are you looking for something casual, or are you looking to get married and start a family? 11, are you opposed to raising kids in a multilingual home? Question 12, do you have any long-standing debt to pay that I should know about? This is obviously a serious question and saved for a serious relationship. Question 13. If I were seriously injured and handicapped, would you divorce me? Question 14. What would you do if I am unable to have kids? Would you divorce me or would you adopt? Question 15. What would you do if your kids were gay? I have asked every single one of these questions to my ex-boyfriends, hence why they're ex. I have met guys who have said they would divorce their wives if they were injured or got fat, who wouldn't marry a woman if there was a gay man in her family, and would never adopt a child. There is nothing wrong, in my opinion, to ask these questions to potential candidates because time is precious the older we get. Most marriages fail because of lack of communication and because people lack the courage to ask important questions. Or many people ignore the answers given. I want kids, and if a man says, I maybe want kids, I don't waste my time dating him because I don't want to find myself 2 years older trying to beg my husband to have kids and that opportunity passing me by forever. I can't tell you how many people tell me, but he could change his mind. No thanks. I'd rather marry someone who wants kids and even has their names picked out. That means serious. A little crazy, but serious nonetheless. Money is the devil and the main reason people argue. So ask all the important questions starting with, are we splitting the bill on a first date? In my opinion, if you vet candidates prior to a second date, I'm being generous, I vet them prior to a first. You will save yourself the heartaches of endless bad dates. They are bad because you didn't ask important questions before meeting them. I'll admit that if you meet a man the organic way, everything I just said flies out the window. Do not ask a man you just met at the bar if he wants to get married and have kids. It is implied that if you are online dating, you are trying to find the one. I look forward to the day I leave the dating cesspool, but there has been a certain beauty in the way my life has played out. I have learned a lot of new things from people I speak to, and I like to believe that each encounter has prepared me to be a better companion to my future husband. Timing is everything. Thanks for listening and reading. If you're one of the married people reading this, next time you see someone single in their 30s, for once, consider it is by choice and not because anything is wrong with them.